Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official podcast for. Oh my god, it's a brand new year. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's welcome to the Creature Cast, the official console creatures podcast.
There
I'm
you
your
go.
host today, Steven, and alongside me is my good pal Bobby. How the heck are you on our very first podcast of 2025?
It feels really weird to be in 2025. I mean, I
Yeah.
know we both hit the ground running, but I'm doing well. I mean, I know I've had some setbacks in my homeowner
Yep.
life, but like we're dealt with those. But everything's good on my end. Steve, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, like just getting back into the swing of things, obviously, by that opening. But yeah, I'm excited for the year. Excited for just another year of podcasting. I hope everyone
Sure.
out there had a great holiday season. We took a couple weeks off just to recharge, get
Oh,
back
did I
into the
need
swing of things, and yeah. I mean, we got an entire year ahead of us of great video games, and we're excited to be talking about them on this podcast week after week. So we appreciate everyone for tuning in and yeah, listening, continuing to support us. It really means a lot. And yeah, hopefully 2025 is just going to be bigger and better for us. And I cannot wait for it all.
I'm looking forward to at least this month, and then yeah, I know February is going to be stacked for
Yep.
everybody. So like, I'm looking forward to this little bit of a lull
Hmm. Hmm.
before February kicks off. But like the last 2 weeks, I've done nothing but backlog, and it's been beautiful. And like I feel like I did a lot of gaming the last couple of weeks.
Have you? Yeah. Okay.
Like, I've been
So
super happy with that.
this episode is all going to be about us looking forward,
Yeah,
looking at 2025, our most
yeah.
anticipated games that we're looking forward to. But I just want to
I
quickly ask,
run
what did you
right.
play over the holidays?
So I got my Trails in the Sky playthrough done, like that I dusted that one was probably the biggest whale
Yep.
of all of them. Just I've been on and off on that game for like 4 months, and like I was like, no, I gotta finish it. I need to get it done by this date, and I did it. And then I did. Um, I finished. Geez, I can't even tell you what I played. I played so many things. I cleared. Thank goodness you're here again, because like game was probably one of the best
Oh,
games of
nice.
2024. Honestly, I know it's pretty obscure, but like if you like British humor, like honestly, I've
Hmm.
played that game like 4 times. It's so much fun. Oh god, I did back another Rebirth or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough because I'm a
Nice.
psycho, and then lots of COD and some Marvel Rivals,
Cool.
and I started Black Myth Wukong, and like honestly, it's really good so far. I'm actually pretty surprised by it. I had a feeling I figured I was gonna like it, but I mean, as much as I did know, I didn't expect it. Like it's a pretty good, challenging game. It's weird having a lack of a parry button because I'm so used to like
Hmm.
Sekiro and so many games where you're parrying, but this game's like dodge heavy, so it's like when to dodge, and overall, like I'm really good. Like I actually kind of see why all the hype is here now. I mean, now that I've played it, but like I still don't know if it should have beaten FF7 Rebirth or like Metaphor for Game of the Year or Balatro for even that. But like yeah, overall, like I'm like 2/3 of the way in. It's really good so far. Like I strongly recommend it, but have the space right in your drive because it's over 100 gigabytes on my
Jesus.
console. Like, yeah,
Jeez.
it's ridiculous, but it's a stunner. It's actually a really cool game. I'm glad it's something I decided to play now, given the time. But yeah, what about you?
I mean, I want to say that I did a lot more gaming across the holidays, but well, I did play quite a few games. I played and finished Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought that was an absolute treat. Loved it. Did as much as I could. I got most of the achievements except for the ones that just bugged out on me. I'm missing like one collectible that I just can't pick up, and a couple other things that just kind of bugged out. I was like, okay, well,
you
great.
did the final puzzle because I was just like no.
The relics. Yeah, I got all the relics. I opened up the door,
Wow,
got the
good for
secret
you.
ending. Very, very underwhelming, to be totally honest. I was like, oh, okay.
That's why I was like, nah, I don't want to
That's
do it
kind
either.
of
I looked it up, but I was like, no, it's too difficult, and for what you get, I'm like, it's not worth it to me.
honestly like it besides the achievement or trophy for getting well when it comes to PlayStation, you just look up the ending. Like it's really like a nothing burger ending. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. Um So yeah, it's such a cinematic and big scale, adventure game. I went from that, and I was like, man, I just want something that I can coast through the rest of the holidays, shut my brain off, not think too much. And then I picked up Spyro Reignited Trilogy and have
Oh
just
yeah,
playing
that's a good
one
one.
after the other after the other. I'm on the tail end of number 3 right now. Probably have like a couple hours left just to mop up the last of the achievements. But yeah, I grew up with Spyro, but I never played the Reignited trilogy just because it was just a
Yeah.
time and place kind of thing. So yeah, it was just nice to just kind of sit down and do like 10 hours of the first one, 10 hours of the second, and right now I'm on like 7 hours, almost 8 hours of the third one. So I'm getting to the tail end of that one, and then because January is so sparse, so empty in terms of games that I'm really looking forward to playing. The goal is to finally then sit down with Silent Hill 2, get that out of the way before February hits, and then it's just
Oh
off
yeah.
to the races for me because it's yeah. As soon as we get to February, and we'll talk about it, it's just game after game of games that Steve wants to play, and I'm going to be a greedy little son of a bitch when it comes to all those games. I cannot wait. But yeah, not it wasn't a diverse holiday of playing a lot of games, but I had fun with it. I had fun with Spyro. Yeah, Toys for Bob, man. They Microsoft really fumbled in letting them go.
Well, they fumbled on a lot of things, but yeah, that one for sure. Like honestly, between that and Tango, like honest,
Mm,
those are the two of the best things they could have kept, and I feel like given them a nice incubation period, they would have had some really good games. But you know what? I feel like they both landed on their feet pretty well.
yep.
So you know what? Good for them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Spyro trilogy is a good reminder that I'm kind of sick and tired of massive open world games, and
Yep.
I like the bite-sized adventures. Like I feel like a 10-hour game is what we need more of these days. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to start seeing. And with ballooning, like I said, ballooning budgets in the last couple of years, you got to have smaller games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just refreshing being able to go into a level in Spyro and complete it in 20-30 minutes at most, grab all
When
the collectibles and stuff like that, and just kind of feel like you accomplished something in such a bite-sized, um, amount of time, and then you can choose, "Hey, do I wanna keep playing or move on to something else?" And at least feel progression, rather than some of these games that I had been playing, last year where it was just like, "Okay, I'm spending 100 hours here," and it feels like it's just a never-ending kinda cycle of gameplay. Yeah. But with all that said, I do want to look ahead to 2025 because already, I mean, we haven't even gotten to SGF or Gamescom where a lot of these announcements are coming out for future
Mhm.
games. But 2025 is actually looking like a pretty stacked year in terms of high marquee games. And yeah, Bobby, I just want to kind of go round table style back and forth, kind of flip our perspectives here and just kind of talk about games that are really um piquing our interest, that we know are coming out in 2025, or at least are slated to come out in 2025. Obviously things do get delayed, like at the time when we're recording Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, it fell victim of a delay, falling a month
Oh, so
after it's a little tentative schedule there. But that being said, yeah, I'll toss it to you. What's a game that you're looking forward to?
I mean, just because we're talking about the delay, let's start with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Sure.
I was pretty hyped about this game. Uh, I'm not going to talk about the discourse. I think it's absolutely stupid. So what we saw at Summer Game Fest and what we've seen since, like I think it might be the game that reignites people's passion for the series. I mean, I kind of fell off. I love the series. I do like it. I fell off pretty hard with Valhalla. I didn't like it as much as like Origins or Odyssey, but I feel like it was a long time coming for Japan to finally be the setting in the series. So like having that's great. But I like the new like I do like the dual protagonist. Like I think that it works in this favor. I like the fact that there's one that does the assassin stuff and there's one who does the brute stuff. So like
Yeah.
it's singing to me. Whatever they're doing like that, even the delays give it a lot more brevity in what it's doing, and I'm happy that it's shaping up to be something that Ubisoft can likely. I feel like should call a win because they need this win given
They
how
do.
bad their last couple years have been, and with all this takeover on BS going on with Tencent, like I really hope it doesn't happen. But I mean, this is the game that could save them as a company. So I mean, it really has to hit on all cylinders. And if it takes even another delay, I'm fine with that because I mean, these games are pretty big. I know you and I know this. Like these games can be over 100 hours. So with that said, I don't really care for the length, but if you're gonna do it, make sure it's the best version of that game. So I like Naui. I like Yasuke. I like the setting. Is it going to interfere with Ghost of Yōtei though?
That's a big question. I mean, yeah, it's getting 1 month, deeper into the year, and we don't exactly know when Ghost of Yōtei will land, but yeah, it does close that that window a little bit, and I hope. Well, I mean, they do have the advantage of coming out first, so I mean, people who are interested in a feudal Japan kind of setting, this has been a game that people have been asking for years and years and years. So I feel like people are going to be excited in some capacity for this game, but then I do wonder what the long tail excitement will be when Ghost of Yōtei comes out and people are like, actually, this is the game I prefer. But I think for the time being at launch and everything, I think a lot of people will be very excited about it. And yeah, I'll leave off this one as well and just say, yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows as a lifelong Assassin's Creed fan. This is a game I have been wanting for so long. A game that is set in feudal Japan. I like the characters. I like that they are focusing on variations of gameplay. One's faster, one's slower, one's more stealth, one's more bodies on the ground, like taking people out. I really do like it. It's just really going to come down to length. For me, and just the gameplay systems. So far, from what we've seen, it looks like they're varying gameplay systems, but I do want to see exactly how much of a difference it's going to play, how different our playthroughs are. So if you go through a section as Yasuke and I'm going as Naue, how do those differ? Or is it kind of, unfortunately, like a lot of these games that offer, these almost cosmetic differences where you're going through, but your objective and your end result is going to be ultimately the same. I do wonder how much of these choices of picking one character or the other is really going to affect all that much. Those are the questions I still want to have answers for, but as far as what we're seeing on paper, I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah. I just don't want it to be 100 hours, please.
Well, it can be that, but like I feel like if you're gonna have a critical path, like don't make it like even 50 hours. Make it something like 30 hours, where it's not like I have to spend a month playing it. Like I can do 2 weeks before I feel like I'm ready to just like clock out and I'm done. Like I never want to touch this game again. So like if I could do it within like that time span, like I'm all for it.
Yes, yeah. I just don't want a map that's littered with icons and just checkboxy
I
like
feel like they've
nonsense.
learned their lesson from Unity because like that we all remember what that map was. I was a sicko and I got almost everything on that map, and then I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yep. And I've talked about it on the show many times. Valhalla killed me. I didn't even that was the game I walked away from. The first Assassin's Creed game I walked away from without doing like 100% of it because I was like, there's not a chance in hell I can do it. So I'm really hoping some restraint is shown with this game.
Yeah, all I ask is bring back the assassins. Like honestly, the Valhalla stuff was cool, but like it wasn't what I loved about these games. I want Ezio level games. I want Connor. I want Edward, even though that's kind of pushing it. But like I want Assassins, Templars. I don't want hidden ones. The whatever the ancient ones are. Like I want traditional Assassin's Creed. Like I want something like that. So I hope this kind of gives us that because it feels like they're going back to obviously an assassin. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. What's another game on your list?
Oh God, I kind of want to steer clear from the bigger ones from right now. But
sure.
I actually have to pull up my list because I do have a list, and I don't want to say one of yours, so I'm going to start with. Let's go with South of Midnight.
Ooh, good call. Yes.
So I don't feel like it's a AAA game. I feel like it's in that fine space between AAA and AA. So I
Yeah.
feel, Compulsion Games has a really cool game on their hands. Like I do like the Deep South setting. I feel like I don't want to say it's like such like infamous, but like I see some of the elements of it, and I'm like, I feel
A
like
little
that,
bit, yeah.
right? So like I do like what they're doing with the gameplay. I like what they're doing with the setting. I feel like it's just a cool looking game. Like everything about it is just like chock full of like lore from that specific part of the South, and the music looks incredible. The characters look incredible. I don't really, I can't find anything like I'm against in this game. I do like the protagonist. I mean, I like compulsion games. Like We Happy Few. I know some people didn't like it. I thought it was pretty cool. Contrast was a cool launch game for PS4. So I mean, their games have evolved with them since they've been around, right? So like every game had a little bit
Yep.
more something a bit more memorable, and I feel like this one here has got that really cool stylized setting and a set and something we rarely see. Like I can't remember the last time we went down to like the Deep South. I feel like the last game that really did that was like Infamous 2 with like that New Orleans, and
Hmm.
maybe Red Dead 2 when you went into like the swampy areas. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is cool. Like I feel it's unique in its own way. I do like the folklore. I wish more games had the folklore, but I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of people taking the chances on like traditional folklore these days. It's all like fantasy or sci-fi, and it's just like I like what the Compulsion is doing with this. So like I'm really looking forward to it. Previews have been pretty positive. And once again, like I said, I'm ignoring any of the controversy because there is none. It's just a
There's no
bunch of
controversy.
bunch of,
People
bunch
want to
of
create
spitwads.
controversy, sure.
Yeah, they're a bunch of spitwads spitting around their stupid opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. South of Midnight looks really great. Love the animation style. I mean, a shout out to Compulsion, Montreal studio. So
Yeah.
great stuff there. Yeah, I as much as I am looking forward to it, it's not a game I'm keeping up with only because it seems like a game that I just kind of want to play. I don't need to
Yeah,
follow it. I don't need to follow
exactly.
its like development cycle. Even the last time that they really showed it off at the Xbox Game Showcase, I watched the trailer once and never really went back. I didn't even read any of the previews aside from just listening to the general popular or like positivity of it because it was just a game I knew I was going to play at some point, and I didn't really want systems and too much of the story being spoiled for me. But yeah, very high on my radar for sure.
Yeah. What's your next pick?
I gotta get it out of the way, and it's Avowed. It's the I'm looking at a calendar here, made by the great people over at Terminals and Evolve. I just want
That's
to
correct.
give a quick shout out to them because yeah, ever since GameSpot. I think it was GameSpot that used to have their yearly like rundown of like a great comprehensive list of games that are coming out each day, each platform, and everything. They no longer have it, as far as I know. And yeah, Terminals here just has a great comprehensive like little interactive calendar. And yeah, I'm just going through it right now. And Avowed, made by Obsidian Entertainment, is the first game really of 2025 that I'm like, oh, I am so locked in for this. I am so ready. I mean, obviously, Obsidian Entertainment has been very kind to us. They've come on our show twice now
Mhm.
to talk about Avowed in the past year. So, I mean, I just want to throw that out there. But Avowed is a game that I love Obsidian Entertainment. I don't feel like they've ever really missed. I put them to the same pedigree as like an Insomniac Games, where I was like, oh, as soon as Xbox acquired them, I was like, they're cooking with this. And Avowed is a very exciting game because for as much as the Outer Worlds was kind of their version of Fallout, this kind of feels like their version of Elder Scrolls and Skyrim. And from everything we've seen from previews, this game just looks gorgeous. I love the setting. I love the ability to have two different weapons, whether you're using a sword and a gun, a staff and a shield. I love that like that customizational to the gameplay and the combat and everything. And yeah, you give me a Western RPG with some really great choices of who am I going to side with? Am I going to betray this person? Am I going to?
Mhm.
I love that stuff, and I really hope that in terms of the choices and crafting your own narrative and story, I really hope Avowed does become that, because everything else I think is just really top tier from Obsidian Entertainment. And yeah, I can't wait February 18th, hoping that they stick to that. I hope that by the time we get to, this upcoming Xbox developer direct, there isn't some news where they come out and they're like, we need a little bit more time. I know that February is a busy month, but I hope that they just kind of hold the line, get this game out there, because I mean they got to work on Outer Worlds 2 right after and get that out. Can you
Yeah, that's
believe we're getting two
fair.
Obsidian Entertainment games in 1 year? It seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I feel like they're usually just one a year, and then like they're back into just like their own little world, and they come back out when they're ready to show their game. But Microsoft money lets them do these things, so you know what, I'm all for it. And I feel like these are probably gonna be two of the biggest games of the year. Like, there's no way they can't be. Uh, yeah, I'm ready for Avowed.
Yeah. What's another one for you?
I'm trying to decide. This calendar's like there's like at least 4 games on in February I'm excited for,
Yeah.
but I think I'm gonna go with I have to pick like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen today's preview, but it's insane.
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, this is one of these. I don't know how they've managed to branch out this far from what this game was.
Hmm.
But if you're curious, Dennis actually posted a pretty lengthy recap of the Like a Dragon Direct today. And if he's freaking out in message,
Yeah.
yeah, saying, this game looks insane. Like there's lasers and pirate ships and Assassin's Creed Black Flag naval battles.
That's
This
the
game
thing that
sounded insane.
I saw and that stood out to me. I was like, "Oh my god, they're doing it. Like they are doing the Black Flag. You're commanding a ship. You've got, you're running over to the cannons, you're firing them off." I was like, "This is."
It's
I even
insane.
put out a post. I was like, this small 30-second video I'm seeing right now looks more fun than the entirety of Skull and Bones."
And that's all you need to do is for marketing is just
Yeah.
show 2 clips and say, you know, which you gonna pick, like red pill or blue pill. And in this case here, I'm taking the pirate cap and the eye patch, and I'm going to Hawaii because, like,
Heck
honestly, this
yeah.
game looks insane. Honestly, I need to catch up on the series. I'm 1 game behind. I started it last year. I never did
Mm.
Infinite Wealth, but I'm gonna come back to it. But for like a side story that features like the coolest character in the series, like I love Majima. Like his story just seems so outlandish and in character for this guy. So like I like the fact that he loses his memory. It's
Mhm.
a whole story point, but it's not like his personality. So he just like runs with it in his own way, and like it's rare you get a game like this. Like, I can't even tell you the last game that just seems so outlandish like this. That was just like in your face, wacky, and like it looks incredible. Like it's scratching all these check marks off for me, and it feels like it's just like the series knows no bounds. Like they've had a zombie game, they've had
Yeah.
a samurai game, now they're doing a pirate game. So like I'm looking forward to seeing like the inevitable like dinosaur game, because I feel like we're gonna get Yakuza like a dragon.
When are we going to
Or
space?
that's feels like that. I would probably lose my mind if we saw them go to space and they're like Mass Effect levels of like story.
They could do it.
I mean, there's laser cannons and rocket launchers, so like we're getting there.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. This game looks insane. You have a home base, you have all these fighting styles you can pick from, like you have a crew you can manage. Like these are just all things that just like sing to me. So like I'm looking forward to this game more than anything, and it's out pretty relatively close. It's like a month away. So yeah, I'm ready for this game.
Nice. Yeah. Next one, I'm picking between two of them. I might as well just go. It's our background image. It's Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I mean, Kojima. coming out with another, surely it's going to be a banger. I have no idea what it's hard for me to talk about my excitement for this game because it's purely just based on the vibes. I don't know what's going on in this game. I don't know what the new gameplay systems are going to be, what the story is. I don't really know anything about it, but the trailers look really cool. They're intriguing me top to bottom. I love the new cast members. You got Troy
What's
Baker
his
ripping
name?
on an electric guitar. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Like that's all I need to know. And yeah, earlier last year I started replaying Death Stranding. I really need to get back to it again before it starts like leaving my mind. But yeah, I'm just really excited to get back into this universe, get back into the weirdness. Although it's not that weird when you go through the story, it actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's one of
It's one of
Kojima's
those
like
rare
less
games that are
weird.
just
Yeah,
so yeah. It's just I think it's just it is that rare game where it's so outlandish, but it makes sense.
it does. Yeah,
Like I don't know how Kojima thought of it, but whatever he was on, I feel like it really helped him create a world that feels unique, familiar, but so far out there.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Honestly,
Honestly, I don't think I don't know. I understand the criticism the first game had, but like I didn't really have that issue. Like I anything like I liked that lonely trek. I
me
loved
too.
it. It it's like you're hiking or you're backpacking through the country, and like that's a normal thing. Like it there's so many stories where people are hiking through the states or Canada, and it's like that's cool. It's just now you're doing it in this post whatever the world is. Like it's a invaded, whatever these things are. So I'm all for it. Like I it doesn't even need to be that different. I honestly, even if it wasn't that different, like I'm fine with it. I could play it as it is, thinking it's just an expansion. It's the vibes that really sell it. It's just that world.
Yep.
It's going over those sprawling like plains, and the music comes swelling, and you're like, this is insane. And having Decima engine in like 2019 look as good as it did then. I can't imagine like on a PS5 Pro and having a bigger world and more texture and just farther, distance, and you just see this world come to life, and it's like, yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah. No. No. Exactly. I'm so on board with this, and I'm okay not knowing too much about this game going in. It's kind of the same thing as like South of Midnight, where I already know I'm going to play it. I already know I'm eager to play it, but I don't need to have the Sony, the PlayStation State of Play on Death Stranding 2 on the beach, and I don't need Kojima and his team to walk me through all the new systems and gameplay mechanics. I kind of just want to get the game and just experience it for myself. Just because Death Stranding was such a surprise to me, where I thought it was just going to be too outlandish and too crazy for me to even like really sink my teeth into by the time I got to it. But I fell in love with that game. I know people have criticisms of it, and for some people, I think that it's totally valid. But for me, it just resonated with me in such a way that I'm ready now. It's been 6 years since Death Stranding, and I'm just ready for a brand new entry into this universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. God, there's a lot of remasters coming out. Oh, it's like, do I want to include it? I'm going to include it. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster is my next anticipated game. One of the most beloved like JRPG franchises of all time. There's a reason why people love it, and it's just so unique in what it does. And you have all these amazing elements come together, like having 108 characters available. Like what game at the time had so many playable characters? And then I'm just kind of jaded that the series has died. So like I really feel like this remaster is gonna have to be emphasized. Like if this doesn't sell well, I don't feel like we're gonna get new games, because we haven't had a new game in over almost like 15, 16 years. And like the Suikoden series is obviously not as iconic as Final Fantasy at this point, just because it's fallen off. But at the time, like, it just had so many cool elements to it, and like I would love to see more people play it. I mean, I loved Suikoden 4 so much. I got a tattoo of it, and it's just been a series that's just like never gotten the love it deserved. And I feel like with the new generation that's finally, playing these games, I'm seeing young kids jumping into older like JRPGs all the time now, and I feel like this is a great bridge for these new kids to play some of the best games from when I was a kid. But they're not for everybody, obviously. Like, there's a lot of elements that may not resonate with you, Steve, for example. But like I'm hoping that some kids, people, understand that these games aren't, they're not fast burns. Like, you're slow. You got to spend your time. You got to learn how to, build your party, build their stats, and learn how they work together. And it's just a great series that I'm really excited to revisit. It's been like 20 years, so I'm looking forward to playing them on my Steam Deck, because it's just like,
yep.
I went back to them on an emulator, and like they don't hold up. Like I wish they did, but games from the PS1 era, like, honestly, few and far hold up today. Like, I could say that easily. Like, I tried as hard as I could to play them, but like, even with like cheats and like speed hacks, it's hard to play them. But I'm looking forward to seeing how these play out. Like, they're so special. Like, these games are very special to me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to say about them, but I'm excited you get to play them this year. It's very cool. My next one I'm going to throw in is Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yes.
I mean, that trailer that they debuted at the Xbox Game Showcase last year absolutely ripped. I love the take on, instead of being in this high sci-fi version of hell, you're now dealing with, like a medieval take on it. You've got
the original Doom
yeah.
style.
Right? Yeah, like you got dragons in there, you got big mechs and shit. Like, you're ripping and tearing in like the coolest ways. You got that shield with the razors on it, and you're throwing in like Captain America. Yeah. I'm so in for this game, and this game can't come sooner. It also looks beautiful. There was recently just another look at it with like some new screenshots and assets that came out this year or this week because of CES. And I'm like, oh my god, this game looks beautiful. It's gonna beam off my OLED. I cannot wait to play this game.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Do I choose the one that we
do it?
I'm going with Elden Ring Nightreign.
Ooh, okay.
I know it's not a traditional FromSoft game, but like, I don't think they've ever done a multiplayer game like this. Like, it's such a unique idea, and I like the fact that, well, I like it, but I don't know if you might or you agree with it, or some people like do not like it. But there's a multiverse in the Elden Ring universe now, so like, we're in like an adjacent world that's similar to the Lands Between, but it's not. So it's like a spin on Limgrave. So I don't know what this game's gonna be, but like, I like it. We just don't know much about it, right? Like, I know the trailer was a couple of minutes, but like, it doesn't really show much. It just shows you a couple of bosses, the world, but it's so out there for the series, and much to the point, I know that this is probably Bandai Namco just milking the Elden Ring franchise, but like, hey, it seems like it could work. I mean, like, I did like the co-op in Elden Ring. So like, if that's just their take on this, really, how bad could it be?
Yeah, this one I am more cautiously optimistic than I am excited for. I think on paper there's so much about Elden Ring Nightreign that does speak to me. I mean, specifically just bringing back the combat, bringing back things like co-op is really cool. And then you kind of get this element of, it's almost like a greatest hits of From Software, because it does have bosses from Dark Souls 3 and stuff like that, and it also incorporates the jumping and scaling of Sekiro in there as well. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a culmination of so much. But then for me, I grapple and hesitate to understand how the kind of, I hesitate to kind of say this, but the battle royale aspect of it, where you know you're in this multiplayer space and there's fog that comes in. You have 15 minutes to get all the items you can to fight this boss. You gotta upgrade yourself and get skill points. I'm like, this is kind of a bridge too far for me to kind of wrap my head around. I think that I do need to put, you know, hands on the sticks, get on the controller here and kind of test it out myself. Because yeah, it just does not compute for me, because I've spent a decade plus of playing From Software games. While they're not rinse and repeat, they are formulaic and in a way that I can kind of understand. And even Elden Ring being an open world was such a departure for that. But now incorporating such a heavy multiplayer like, and then there's almost like an element of like a roguelike or, you know, roguelite, of going into these like multiplayer areas and playing with others, facing these bosses. I'm like, I don't know. Should I be excited? Probably, but yeah, I want to be excited. I want to find myself playing this with, you know, you and other people. But yeah, until I start to play it for myself, I don't know if I'll be excited for this game.
Which is fair. I mean, like, it's something they've never done before, so like really you got to be cautious about it. But at the same time, like I said, like their multiplayer stuff so far has been good. I do like it. So I mean, even if it's half as good as that, like I feel it's marginally better than a lot of multiplayer games these days, because everything's just so iterative and it's always the same. So it's like this feels like something different for them. So like, it's From stepping out of their comfort zone. I'm all for it. I just hope it works out for them. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm cautious about it too, but like I'm excited. I'm more excited than I am cautious, I would say. But yeah.
I mean, it does kind of just feel like this. Yeah, to your point, Bandai approached them, just said, "Hey, can you do like a quick follow up?" I'm sure that there is a small team that's working on this, while the larger team is working on the next big From Software game, whatever that might be. So even if it doesn't pan out, and even if it doesn't resonate with me, it's not too bad, because like I know that I'm not waiting another, you know, 6 years for another From Software game. It's just going to be a couple years for something.
I feel like they're firing all cylinders right now. Like they have such a good. I feel like they finally nailed their rhythm, so like they can push out a couple games a year, maybe even. And I feel like they're fine, because like their quality is pretty good. To my opinion. So yeah.
I'm going to throw in another one here, and that is Fable. To no surprise, this is again another high up there on my list. Fable has been a franchise that, for better or worse, I have loved and followed for the entire time. It's been under the Microsoft ecosystem, formerly of Lionhead, and I stuck it through all the way to the VR game, and then the top-down strategy game that they sent out in the early Xbox One days. But I'm just really glad that we're getting some sort of return to form. Again, it's very early. We still don't know anything about gameplay. We don't know about, you know, the scale of this game, what it's going to be like. Is it kind of reminiscent of Fable 1? Is it going to be something brand new? I don't really know. I am just hopeful that we get to re-experience this franchise once again, and hopefully it finds a new audience on Xbox and PC. And then, yeah, I want to get back to the days of when Fable really did offer, again, those choices of, are you going to be good? Are you going to be evil? How does the world react to you? Are you going to set up a family? Are you buying real estate? Are you doing like it? I mean, they really did go all out for this like ambitious, in-depth sim for this fantasy game. And I hope that this is kind of what we're going to get into. But remains to be seen, because they've been pretty tight-lipped despite signaling that this game is supposed to come out this year. And I'm hoping that we get a good update soon.
It's been really quiet. I couldn't even tell you the last time we got an update. I feel it's been a while, at least, right? I mean,
the last time we saw it was
Xbox.
in June.
It was. So yeah, 6 months ago. So yeah, it's been a while. But I mean, whatever. Maybe with some. Well, I think they said something's happen at Developer Direct. I feel like something happened. I think I posted about that today.
Yes, but they have an unannounced game, and aside from that, then it's just Doom and South of Midnight
Okay.
from
So it
first
wasn't.
party anyway. So I don't think we'll be hearing too much of Fable up until maybe the spring at some point.
That's fine. Whatever. By then, Avowed will be out. I'll be good.
Exactly. That'll tide me
Uh,
over. Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh boy. I'm throwing up Monster Hunter Wilds. I
Cool.
know
Yes.
we both saw it at SGF.
Hmm.
I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm a fan of Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, so I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I know we spoke to Joey Ferris, and he was kind of mixed on it.
Yep.
What do you feel like? I I don't know. Like I'm excited. I'm cautiously excited. Like I feel like it's obviously going to be more of what the series is. Like you're obviously hunting monsters and you're searching out for them, and you're working with others to take these monsters down. But like it's fun. It's cooperative.
Yep.
It's a good way to build some teamwork with people, and like it's always been fun. Building these characters with their builds and like learning what weapons are really potent for like tackling these monsters. So like I feel like that's probably the coolest thing about these games is just it's not a button masher. You can't, because like you have to like think about where these monsters are going. You have to like build traps. You have to have food ready to like build your
Right.
staminas up. And I'm all for it. Like Capcom did a pretty cool behind closed doors preview. I know obviously it was very staged, but like from what we've seen since then, like it's continued to look as good as it did when we saw it behind closed doors. And like I'm finding few things I don't like about it. Right, it's just everything looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything does look really good. I think it's just going to have to, for me at least, because I'm not a Monster Hunter person, have never
Yeah,
really invested that much time into one. It's going to come down to how I'm feeling in the moment. I think it's just going to have to do with if I'm in the mood to party up with you and other friends and everything and go out hunting different monsters, scavenging, building tools, building weapons, stuff like that, which in many cases is a game that's for me. It's just going to come down to, because of the release date, is it something that I'm going to want to walk away from Avowed at the time, or am I in preparation mode for Assassin's Creed or anything else that really does pop up in the late February, early March kind of window? Or yeah, maybe it does win me over, and that consumes my life for an entire month. I don't really know, but everything we've seen, it looks good. I have no problem with it. It's just whether or
100%.
not this is going to be my Monster Hunter game or not. That's really what it comes down to.
I feel like you've got like a month and a half. I mean, even if
Yeah.
you put in a couple hours into World now just to get like a refresher, I don't think it'd be like the worst idea, right? Because like it'll
Yeah.
kind of give you a taste of what's to come. But like I just feel like the biggest progression we'll see this generation is just it's more behind the scenes. So like you're seeing better
That's
AI,
right.
you're seeing just more systems evolving. You're seeing like the amount of like content being on screen more than anything than
Yeah.
graphics, which I think is fine. Like I feel like we've hit that good plateau of where graphics look really photorealistic and all that. So like I'm fine with that, but like I just want more computing power utilized, where it's giving me more livable worlds, more lifelike environments, and we're getting that. I feel so. I'm all for this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting to the end of my list, or at least very close to the end, Ghost of Yōtei, we got to talk about. We mentioned it before, but the other side of the coin from Assassin's Creed Shadows, the other, very, very feudal Japan-esque game. I'm in full confidence of Sucker Punch. Everything that they did with Ghost of Tsushima resonated with me. It's one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It came out with a great director's cut on PlayStation 5, and it just looks phenomenal. It runs phenomenally. And yeah, still don't know too much about it other than the setting and, the rough era that it takes place in, but I can't wait to see just how beautiful this game runs on a PlayStation 5 natively, because Sucker Punch now has been able to already prove themselves to be able to work on the architecture, knows the system well enough because they did the Iki Island. What was it? I'm slipping on it. Iki Island, yeah, and that ran well. That was a great little expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it can nail that 2025 release date.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm looking super forward. Like I feel like it's coming up this year. There's no way it's not. Like
Right? Yeah.
they're pretty confident it'll be probably October, November, and perfect. That's perfect time for that game because like that is obviously the busiest season for the industry. So I'm all for it. I don't need to see any more of it. I know we're gonna obviously get more closer to June, but or like even a PlayStation State of Play. But like I don't need to see more. I'm sold. I know what it's gonna be. They, as a studio, Sucker Punch is basically given a free check to me. It's like you guys just send me it, I'll cash it. Whatever you're making, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I think I have 2 more games. I'm looking
Sure, throw them in.
3, but I'm gonna leave 2. So my next one is Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's
Interesting. Okay.
an older. It's a game from 2015, but it's the one Xenoblade Chronicle game I haven't played. I never had a Wii U. I never found any reason to buy one. I missed this game specifically just because it was, like I said, it was on a dead console when it was revealed. But I mean, it's really strange. I mean, I obviously feel like I should know more about it, but it's like a very MMO-esque game compared to the other Xenoblade Chronicles. Like the first one's like just an open world MMO. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the same thing, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is leaning more towards like a traditional JRPG. So this one here is offline MMO. So like you can control these big mechs called skells, and you're exploring this planet that you're crash landed on because the Earth has been mined to death. Like there's nothing there anymore. So you're basically landing on this planet to rebuild humanity, and it has some really cool plots and plot twists that I mean I was spoiled on, but like to that point, like I would like to see how those plot twists unfold. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this game works. But it looks cool. It looks like a cross between like an Armored Core and a JRPG. So I mean, I don't know, Steve, if you had a chance to look at it, but like the demo looks cool. Like the trailer looks incredible. I mean, if there's one Xenoblade Chronicles game, I would probably say you would probably like is probably this one. Just
okay, interesting.
The mechs, because you can obviously fly your mechs around the world. And the one thing about Xenoblade is I don't know if you're aware of this, but like every time you're in these worlds, you're not in a world. You're living and like interacting with like massive monolithic monsters. So like you're living on them and you're exploring. You're basically going around their bodies. So like you start at the head, you work down. And that's kind of why Xenoblade kind of took off, right? It was like a really unique setting. And that's kind of what it was. Like there was always like 2 giant that, they fought, they died, and then their bodies now just became the world.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
It's really cool. Like that's kind of what drew me in. And in this game, what drew me in is like I said, the fact that like if you have a mech in your game, I'm there. Like
sure,
tell me you're giving me a mech and I can explore it and fight people in my mech. I'm sold.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's what the game is. So yeah, it's a JRPG mech game. That's what it boils down to, I feel like. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never played it. It's out March. I'm excited.
Love it. Love it. And your final game on your list?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna do it. It's another remaster. Tales of Grace's F. It's out. Oh, geez, it's out next week. So it's a remake of Tales of Grace's F from 2012. It was the one Tales of game that kind of brought the series back to the West. It was at a point like 10, 15 years ago where the series was on hiatus. Like there was nothing really being discussed about in the West, and
Yep.
there was a lull in the series. And at that point, it was like, well, it looks like Bandai Namco doesn't want to support the series anymore. Like they don't want to bring these games here. And then out of nowhere, I think it was like a E3 2011. There was a trailer that says, Tales of Grace's F is coming to the West, and it kind of reinvigorated the series for a lot of people and in the West. So like having that experience on a console that I don't have to dig out of my closet anymore is great, because like finding trying to find all my cables, find the controllers, find my saves, I don't want to deal with that. So having the fact that I can just download it on my Steam Deck or my PlayStation, and it's just a game I really loved 10 years ago, now upgraded with turbo mode and quick saves and all that quality of life things. Like I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love
Obviously
that.
I can keep going, but like I'm gonna cap it there. I feel like
that's a great comprehensive list, and I think it gives us a lot of ammunition for games that we're going to talk about this year as they start filtering through, coming through. Hopefully, not a lot of these face delays and slip into 2026. But yeah, I mean, even the games that we did talk about, that's already a great calendar year as far as I'm concerned. And hopefully, everyone listening, you guys are very stoked for these games, excited for us to talk about these games on the show, and hopefully, you guys can also comment and let us know what games you're looking forward to as well for this year, because I'm sure there's many that we've missed, many that have not even been announced yet. But until that time, Bobby, where can people keep up with you online?
Oh, you can find me at Be Passionalitas on Bluesky, Instagram, and wherever wherever you're on social media. You can find us on consolecreatures.com.
Amazing. Yes. And as for me, you can find me across the internet at svigvari, and we will be back week after week talking about the latest video games we're playing, the latest little opinions. When the heck is Nintendo Switch 2 coming out? We will be talking about it when Nintendo decides to open its trap. But until then, we appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.